Hey
Joseph.
Jamaal,
Joseph. How you doing?
good man. How are you?
Pretty good. I really hate asking questions that I know everybody's gonna ask. But
It's
I
okay.
just gotta know out of curiosity because what I mean, you don't call to check in with me no more anyway. So I gotta know. I mean,
I couldn't,
how you
man.
feeling?
Everything was put on the shelf with this darn strike. So happy that it's
Yeah,
over with. I'm so excited to be able to talk to you guys. Right before the wire.
yeah, yeah. So the new CBA, like, are you happy with with the changes for actors in your guild going forward?
Yeah, I think that specifically the AI platform, we really needed the studios not to own an emeritus image of you at that point without being compensated. I think that the value of actors, I think Fran Drescher did a great job of valuing the actors that she represents. I think Francis Fisher and the entire negotiating committee held strong for what they believe is the right way to go forward. Now, remember, this is only a 3 year. In 3 years, we're going to revisit some of this stuff, but the actors were truly only asking for 0.5% of what was coming into the studio. So that said, I think that that a lot of that will go the right way. I think actors are important. I think that we are trained to be think that we're a little more expendable than we are, and I'm glad that we got a fair deal, and I'm proud of my union.
Great. I'm happy. I'm happy also, and happy that we get a chance to talk to you guys now. I mean, it was great in the in between by giving some highlights to the below the line people that make all this magic happen along with y'all. They don't usually get to shine, and in this period of strike, we was able to talk to a lot more of them. So that was great. But it is great talking back to some of my favorite actors. And I got to ask you this part. This is another curiosity part for me. I mean, I know you have such great working relationship with like Dion when you're working on films and everything, but when you're working in series and you have all of these directors, how does that work for you as an actor? Is it like being on the all-star team? Like what do you pick off of having like all of these different talented directors to work on a series?
Um, well, luckily enough, I knew all the directors. Oh, actually, this was my first time working with Robert Townsend, who was man, he was so great. What an amazing
Yeah.
director. We've had absolutely consistently amazing directors. It's really been a luxury. I think that it can go both ways. I think that if you don't necessarily see eye to eye with the director, I think that it can make it difficult. That has not been my experience in any capacity. I think the directors that have been vetted by not only the network, but also Gary Lennon, who has an absolutely perfect choice in terms of talent and collaboration and storytelling. So we've had an incredible time. And then we've had so many return directors. Eve Rivera, who did episode 8, which was so dynamite. Kieran Hawks, who directed 4 episodes of the first season, who is also incredible. So we've had consistently great directors, but then again, the luxury of working with one of my dear friends, Dion Taylor, has been great because not only does the man show up, he shows out, and he comes with this wonderful energy and purity. Plus, he's a Chicago guy, so he gets the city, he gets the vibe, the tonality, and he knows Tommy and he knows Joseph. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it was just great. I mean, it was the we ended on a real high, and this whole season has just gone up and up and up and up, and the stakes get higher and higher. And just when you think it's going to crash down, it goes a different direction, and that's another
Yeah.
testament to Gary Lennon and our incredibly talented cast and crew.
I know you've been off the market for a while and out of Tanya for me. But I wonder like if you
I think so, man. I'd be if I was a female, I would be very scared to date Tommy Egan because he can go from 0 to 60 in a millisecond, 0 to 100. Yeah, and also Tommy is just so impulsive that I think that Tommy is he impulsively has the streets running through him. He's gonna go get that bag one way or another. It's almost like it's a knee-jerk reaction. So much of Tommy is impulse and he
Yeah,
follows his gut. Now sometimes that's really I think that I always say that Tommy lives because he wakes up every day ready to die. And
yeah.
that's just true. Tommy hides in plain sight. He's always available for anything. But I mean, if the show has proven anything, he's a very dangerous person to date.
Yeah. And I know you classically trained actor. I mean, you're not Tommy Egan, but now after all of these seasons of playing him, like how much of that ends up seeping into you? I mean, like are you hustling outside? Do you got some bags of illegal stuff in your trunk? Like
Right,
what's going?
right, right. I think that every actor adds a little bit of themselves or a lot of themselves to the character, so there is an authenticity to the reality of being a different human being. But yeah, no, I come home. My wife wouldn't tolerate Tommy Egan, that's for sure.
So as the actor, as that character has grown, and you've grown with that, and now you have all these other opportunities. I know you're doing like a pirate movie and something coming up, and some other stuff. Uh, is do you have like a time in your life where you like I can only do this much Tommy and then I'm done, or are we gonna be able to enjoy Tommy for another decade and all these other facets of the Stars Power universe?
As long as Gary Lennon is involved, I'm interested in playing Tommy Egan. Uh, Gary Lennon really is there's two parts of Tommy Egan, and that's Gary Lennon and Joseph Sikora. And as much as I enjoyed season one, I love my new cast. I think that just having Gary back really felt like it's completed, and it just feels right. It's that old shoe that just fits perfect. So and Gary also is incredible at the psyche of Tommy Egan. He really understands the what is going on in Tommy's head, which is really exciting for me because I think that Tommy is such a physical character that we've grown to know so physically impulsive, strong, tough. But then there's also this what makes him tick? Where is this coming from? And I'm interested in exploring those regions even more with Gary.
And last question, I mean, now that y'all have done multiple seasons in the city of Chicago, how has the city been embracing that, and how have local people been able to participate either on screen? I know y'all got some actors on screen or behind the scenes to making this production happen. Like, tell me about the Chicago love for uh, Force.
Well, it has been unbelievably well received in terms of the city. We get so much love in every neighborhood that we go to. One of the things, to go back on a different question that you were asking in terms of the directors, one of the great things about this season is the consistency of our DP, Jody Williams, who's been incredible, and he's the director of photography, the cinematographer on every episode. So there's this wonderful consistency in terms of the look of the show this season, which I think is really helpful for the storytelling as well. He's done an amazing job. Our crew, so many homegrown, from Seth Thomas and Josh Ramos, who are our camera crew. We got Joe Surf, who's a local guy, who's our key grip. The list goes on and on behind the scenes. There's so much homegrown crew. But then you look to the actors. Chris Lofton is from Chicago. Lucian Cambridge, who plays D-Mac, is from Chicago. Anthony Fleming III, who plays JP Gibbs, another Chicagoan. So we have so much local talent in there. And I think that that's important to show. There's just so much talent out of Chicago. All of, like, so much of our guest stars, our day players, all of this wonderful luxury. Geo Johnson, who's on our law enforcement team, is a Chicago local. So the list goes on and on and on. We celebrate the city, so the city celebrates us.
Yeah, well, that's a good look. I know a lot of productions roll into the city and imports people from Hollywood or elsewhere in New York, and they don't get that local love. So, but I'm glad that this production has been such a love letter from Chicago and has been like so action packed and so entertaining for all these seasons. I can't wait till everybody gets to see the season finale, and hopefully it's not that long before we have to wait for the next season. I know y'all pushed this season back, and it ended up working out because of the strike. It ended up being like a great treat to be able to like have this now, but I hope we don't have to wait that long for the next season, man. Because I love me some Force.
I'm with you.
All right. Thanks for the time, man. Hey, check in
Thank
with
you.
me sometimes, Tommy.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Jamaal.
All right.
I got my girl in danger in these streets and I can't even see her.
The bigger the risk, the bigger reward. Besides, Tommy gave her a choice and she made a decision. You ever been able to stop Shanti Showstopper from doing whatever the hell she want to do?
No, you right about that.
All right.
You right. So you thought more about how you gonna handle this Mad Dog kid?
He gotta go.
Damn, bro, he only 16.
Yeah, I don't give a damn. So was Leon. And so was you and I when the streets got real. Shit. Age ain't nothing but a number to the streets, bro. You know that.
I hear that.